we're going over today is for the sophomore and junior parents. If there's some freshman parents in here, by all means, you're more than welcome to stay. But we're going over the next planning steps, the next future steps for your students here at Wayne Valley, whether you're a sophomore or a junior specifically. This will be recorded and will also be put on our YouTube page. So if you have anyone else that's asking about the recording or if they missed the meeting, they can find that on our YouTube page, which will be posted as soon as we're done with this, hopefully within the next week or so. If you all don't know who I am Mr. Imperator, Mr. I, Coach I, however you want to say it. I know my last name is very difficult to pronounce. I'm also the counselor that has the therapy dog, Molly. So if your students wonder who I am, that's who it is. And if you ever heard of the therapy dog, Molly is my actual dog here. Without further ado, let's get into this presentation for this meeting. All right, so what you should all see right now is a slideshow that says Wayne Valley, future planning, career, college, planning from Wayne Valley High School. What we're having, so now my screen is not going to be shown here. So the counselors are currently meeting with students. We have in the past already met with the students. So each student should have a elective already put in with their counselor for scheduling for next year. Everything that's put into the schedule for an elective is not set in stone. So each student does have an opportunity to change their electives up until the add drop period of next year for each student. Again, a lot of students come down and they're worried that they're set in their schedule for the next year. That is not the case. They still have time to change anything they would like to. At the start of the senior year, the counselors will now have another meeting, and this conversation will be about college and what their post-high school plans will be for college. Again, not every student goes to college. Some students want to do a trade, which we'll touch base a little bit in this meeting. College is not for everyone. Some students don't want to go because of cost. Some students don't want to go because they have a specific trade that they wanted to go after, such as auto, welding, plumbing, whatever it may be. So understand that, again, college might not be for everyone, and there's other options out there. Counselors will send out an email that focuses on the key points for the students and families to be aware of. So the start of September is when we get real busy with seniors for applications to college. We'll send out an email that's focusing on the key points of students and families that should be aware of for when it comes to preparing for college application process. Transcripts. All right, so the GPA that's sent to colleges will be cumulative from freshman to the end of junior year. So a lot of students come down mid-freshman year or mid-sophomore year and they wonder, what is my transcript? What is my GPA? What's my class rank? We do not report class rank to colleges. We report by decile percentage. All right, so each GPA is calculated at the end of each year for the student. So at the end of freshman year, at the end of sophomore year, and at the end of junior year. The only time that it gets calculated twice in 1 year is their senior year, which is mid-year grades, because colleges will ask for some mid-year grades at some point. It is cumulative, again, from freshman year to the end of junior year. When we send out transcripts to these schools, they will see freshman to junior year and then current courses that your student is taking, all right? When we report the initial transcript, again, it is freshman year to the end of junior year. Only the final grades will be listed on that transcript. The initial transcript, again, will include the list of senior year courses with no grade. And colleges could ask for first quarter or interim grades at any point. So tell all those juniors that are rising juniors that are going to be seniors to watch out for senioritis, because colleges do have the right to take away any acceptances if they see that the student is not trying their hardest. Planning for the SATs and ACTs. So next year, we will be hosting the SATs 4 times, all right? There are 4 times we'll be hosting the SATs, all right? The students have individual responsibility to register online. So it's the student and the parent that needs to register online through the College Board website. We do not have access to your College Board website. So we cannot reset your password. We cannot get you signed up. It has to be done through the College Board. It is a complete separate entity from Wayne Valley High School. Both tests are offered multiple dates throughout the year. So at Wayne Valley, we do not offer the ACT, but I believe over at Wayne Hills, they do offer the ACT. Again, next year, Wayne Valley will be hosting the SAT 4 times, and Wayne Hills will be hosting it 3 times. SAT is now digital, so each student must have a Blue Book login. That is something that is already on the Chromebooks for Wayne Valley students. They just have to make sure that it does work properly. So they'll have to go through a prompt through College Board to ensure that each thing is done online and that the app works. When you do come to the testing sites, you need to have an ID with them. They have to bring their own calculators as well. Majorities of colleges are now going back to considering the highest combined SAT scores, which is called a super score. And a super score is the top scores from each area of the test combined. So a lot of questions have gone back to, are the SATs going to be needed for applications? Are they required? A lot of schools are now trending back to putting the SATs being a requirement for their applications because it is becoming such a competitive pool again. Test prep and review options. There's free online sources. You can buy a review book, tutoring, prep classes. I know last year we did a little bit of prep tutoring in the Wayne schools. So keep an eye for an email of the possibility of us giving free tutoring for SATs in the schools. Some colleges are going back again to the SATs for applications. The dates for next year, those dates are not correct. So I'll have this updated for you guys for when it is put onto our website. And then also taking the SATs, what we don't require, but what we suggest is taking at least 2 or 3 times. Test 1 might have a little bit of test anxiety for your student. Test 2, you have an idea of what is not going to be on the test. And then by the 3rd time, the student has a really good idea how to take the test and the strategies to put forth through the test. Score reports, again, it is the student's responsibility to have the SAT or ACT scores sent out to all the colleges. All right. So you must go to your College Board account. These are hyperlinks that you can click on. So when this is shared on our website, you can put this on a hyperlink and it'll go right to those websites. But each school, each college has their own code that's specific that must come from the College Board. The reason for that is because, again, we don't have access to the SATs. We just have access to PSAT scores for each student. The college wants a direct score from College Board because that is the official score. The college essay. So a few classes, I believe the juniors are starting their college essay. They will start it now and then they'll finish it again in senior year. All right. So the college essay is the personal piece to this whole application. So each student is going to have multiple pieces to the application. The college essay is the most personal piece to it. It should be written of a picture about who the student is. Being creative, being open, and being honest. A lot of colleges want to see how a student has changed, how they've matured, how they've grown as an individual from freshman year or 8th grade up until becoming a senior or a young adult. Make sure to answer each question. If an application says there's an essay is optional, just write it. All right. If it's optional, just write it. We always err on the side of precaution just to have that in case it is optional. Some colleges will want it later. Submit it if they feel comfortable. Have multiple people read over the essay for your student. Again, English teachers, a tutor, a parent, the school counselor, whoever it may be. Just have as many eyes on that essay as possible, just to make sure that it is the best essay for your student and the best picture of your student coming out. You can start brainstorming some ideas over the summer so that they're not overwhelmed when they come into the school year to finish that senior essay. All those essay prompts are posted on the College Board website, so you can kind of go onto that link and find it through there. But everything is posted on the College Board website for essay topics. And again, they can start thinking about it more over the summer. They should start thinking about it now with their English teachers, but if they need to tune anything up, you can definitely do it over the summer. Visiting colleges. All right. So to go to official visit on colleges, It's either on the website or you can call the admissions offices to find out about the information sessions and campus tours that are being hosted by each one. Ask about an open house or if they can shadow a student for the day. Make sure they sign into the admissions office when they visit because they will need an actual card or some kind of form, paper, and email, whatever it may be, for the excused absence. All right. Take notes on the impressions of the college for your own information and stay connected with the college representatives. So colleges will track how often a student or a parent does reach out about questions. They will put it into a folder. So if it comes to a 50-50 and you have more interest and you showing more interest, they will more likely, I would say, to take your student just because they say, hey, this student is much more interested in coming here. They are putting forth the effort. They're reaching out. They're very interested. They'll make that into more of consideration. You do get 3 excused absences from school. So seniors get 3 excused absences from school. They must have a written documentation of being on campus, again, or an email, anything proving that they've been on campus, and they must bring that to the back office to Ms. Dory for attendance purposes. But they get 3 excused absences in school. So colleges do come and visit us at Valley. Each fall, we host approximately 40 to 50 colleges at Valley. Information on visits will be on Naviance, which we'll go through at the end of this presentation. I'll show you how Naviance works. And there's a whole slide about Naviance. So students get up to 12 visits in school from excused from classes. The teacher does have the right to deny the student to go to a college visit if they have a test, an essay, a presentation, whatever it may be. So a student can be denied by a teacher if there's something going on in class that is more important than going to a college visit. Do not worry because the student can come down to guidance and get the information from us and guidance from the rep. The rep does leave information for us in case someone could not visit. Again, you get up to 12 visits in school for colleges. So the Common App, there's over 900 colleges that have accepted a Common App. It's probably more at this point. You fill it out only one time, and then you send it to all the schools that you're applying to. It is a huge, huge time saver. So again, we have students that could apply up to 10 schools. If that's the case, you put them all in Common App, and the Common App gets connected to your Naviance, and that's how we send out all information from the school to connect to Common App, which then gets sent to the school for application review. Check for supplements. So each school does have different types of supplements. Kane University might require a 250-word essay, while Montclair State might not. Florida University might require, again, a 200-word essay about why they want to go into the specific major, while the University of Texas might not. So check for all supplements and make sure all green check marks are done on the Common App before you submit. We do recommend using the Common App even if the school supplies its own application. The reason why is because that is how we send out our information is through Naviance. It's connected to Common App, and we send all of our information, which is the letters of recommendation, the transcript, the school profile, mid-year grades, whatever else needs to be sent out is through Common App to those schools. So we highly recommend using Common App. There are some schools that do use SRAR and SSAR. And there are some schools that just use their own application, which is totally fine. If that's the case, please have your child email their counselor to have the transcript sent to a directly email or uploaded to a specific college application. Commonapp.org is the websites. You can make an account, but I would suggest making an account after August 1st. The reason why is because if you make an account now on March 26th, and then August 1st rolls around, they will wipe clean everything from that account, and then you have to start from the beginning. So starting a Common App, my suggestion is starting at August 2nd, and you can put everything in on August 2nd and apply as early as August 30th if you wanted to for your schools. It's completely up to you. Just again, if you do apply early, or if you do start that Common App early, such as tomorrow, it will be cleared on August 1st, and then you'll have to redo it all again. On the bottom is a link to what the 2024-2025 essay prompts were. So if you kind of want to get an idea of what the essay prompts were for the Common App, you can click on that link and it gives you about, I'm pretty sure it's 8 to 10 essay prompts on that website. So if you want to start looking at that, you're more than welcome to. Quickly going back to the Common App, what we what we tell students is to have every student use their personal email on the Common App. If they use their Wayne School's email, it will be blocked, it will get sent to spam, and they'll never get the information and never be able to log into Common App. Please use your personal email or the student's personal email when it comes to the Common App. SRAR and the SSAR this is self-reporting. So some colleges are still doing self-reporting. Research a school if you're interested in applying that have the self-reporting. Again, I know popular schools are Penn State, Delaware, Pittsburgh, Kane University are just a few off the top of my head that are self-reporting and are taking that application. You must create an SRAR account and an SSAR account. There's a link here that helps with explaining what the SRAR is, and will also give you a link to log in to make an account for the SSAR or SRAR. Review the list of schools that may take the SRAR and the SSAR. So there's different types of college applications or admissions as well. Regular decision, early action, early decision, and rolling admissions. The most popular ones lately have been the regular decision, early actions. The difference between early action and early decision, if you do early decision, that is a binding contract. You must go to that school, as opposed to early action is not a contract, and you have the option of going to another school if that's the case. So early decision is probably that top number one school that you put all your eggs in the basket and say, this is a school, this is my dream school, I want to go. So again, for instance, if that's Rutgers University and they have early decision and you put it in, it shows the university that you're extremely interested in their university. It gives them an earlier look at the application for the student. And again, if they get in, they must go to that school. You are done with the process at early decision. Congratulations, you're in. You move on. Early action, you do have an option. It is an earlier deadline. So usually it's like November 15th or October. Your student must communicate with the counselor about early action and early decision because we need to get their information out first. So again, any early action, early decision must be communicated with the counselor from the student, just so that we can get their information out as soon as possible. Regular decision and rolling admissions are the other two. Regular decision has a little bit longer process because it gets put into the big pool of all the applications for the colleges. So you'll have a little bit of a lengthier decision time. Rolling admissions is usually within 2 to 4 weeks, you'll get an answer. Some categories that we like to use are target, reach, and safety schools. So a target school is something that's within the kind of realm of the GPA and SAT scores. So something that's comfortable for the student and for the parent, saying, hey, Rutgers University is right there, or right on the cusp. I think is a great school for us to be targeting for our schools. A reach school is a school that may be a little bit out of reach for the student, but still within the parameters. So a student that may be going to Penn State or UPenn, or let's say Yale University, that could be a reach school. A safety school is a school that that you can get into safely. All right. Just as a warning and a heads up, schools are starting to catch on to students that have safety schools, and they can deny them as well from a safety school. So if your student has a 4.5 GPA and they're applying to a school such as William Patterson or Montclair State, Montclair State and William Patterson can understand that, hey, that is not our type of student. So they're just using us as a safety school. At the end of the day, colleges do have a quota and colleges do have a certain percentage they must accept into school. So they can deny your student if they are even top of the class. We always say to students, apply to about 5 to 8 schools. The reason being is because that's a lot of money. Each application is not free. So it's a lot of money for each application to go out. And also applying to 30 schools is a lot of information that we need to do as a school to get out to your students. Having, again, a sweet spot of between 5 to 8 schools is a good number. Even if you get to 10 or 12, that's okay. But something like 30 is a lot of schools, and colleges will see that. And it's also for our information to get out. It's a lot of information that we need to get out on the school side. It's a lot of information that the student needs to put in for Common App. And again, at the end of the day, not all applications are free. They do cost money. Um, Research colleges. So again, at the end of this, we will go to Naviance, and I'll show you a breakdown about how Naviance works and how we show our students how to use Naviance. Think about the features you want in a school, such as location, size, affiliation, whether it's public or private, cost, Greek life, sports, whatever it may be. Those are some things that you should start researching now towards the end of junior year and over the summer coming into senior year. Not every student wants to go to California. Not every student wants to go to Florida. So location is a huge, huge thing when it comes to it. Size. Some kids don't want to go to huge schools. They want to stay in the small, kind of private schools. And finally, cost. College is not cheap anymore. College is very expensive. So if you can't afford the college, it might be best that you start at a community school and then transfer into a four-year school after that. Compare your GPA and test scores to those of the colleges you're considering. Do they fit your criteria? Again, we'll show you how this works on Naviance when we get to that Naviance slide. Start putting your schools on the college I'm thinking about slide on Naviance. Again, we'll get to that once we get to the Naviance. How do you know where to apply? So great questions. This is part of the research process. So start to focus on the strengths of the program, not necessarily the name of the school. So again, a lot of students want to go to Rutgers University because it has a huge name, but they may be going to business, and Rampo College might be the better choice. Understand that the strength of the program is much, much more important than the name of the school and the title that you get from the school. Look for schools that have accredited programs. The cost of attendance, again, this might be a little out of date, but cost of attendance like Rutgers University could be up to $500 per credit, as opposed to what PCCC is, which is about 123 to probably about 150. You can also Google best practices or best business programs in New Jersey, or you can best psych programs in New Jersey, best psych programs in New York, in Pennsylvania, in the United States, wherever it may be. Google is a great search engine to use for this as well. Financial aid. So be on the lookout for the financial aid night that we do host here. It's at the start of senior year. I cannot give you exact date because it does change every year. But at the start of senior year, we will send out a remind email. We'll post it on our social media page. But be on the lookout for a financial aid night that's at the start of senior year to go through that process. FAFSA may be a bit delayed again for the 25-26 season. They did transfer over to a new program. It seems to be a little bit easier for parents and for students. But this year was less of a delay than it was the first year. So next year will probably be even less of a delay for everyone. Community scholarships will be offered to all Wayne Valley students at the end of senior year. So we actually just ended our community scholarship review for the counselors. So that's usually towards the last week of school, last week of March in the school year. Please check back to the colleges tab again on Naviance for a list of scholarships as well. So Naviance does post scholarships on there as well, and we also do post it on our Wayne Valley page. NCAA. So if you have a student that is interested in playing a sport post high school, please have your student create an NCAA account now as a sophomore and as a junior. All right. Here's a little timeline about what the NCAA posts about where you should be at each thing. So again, in grade 9, as a freshman, start planning. All right. At grade 10, register for a eligibility account through the NCAA Eligibility Center. Grade 11 is starting to study because you're going to be sending your SAT scores, ACT scores to the schools. And finally, grade 12 is just graduate and asking for the final amateurism certification. That is something that's done through the guidance department, actually through me. So if your student is doing an NCAA, they should talk to their coach, and the coach should reach out to me about sending out the transcripts. I do check it weekly just to make sure that all transcripts are sent out. When NCAA transcripts are sent out, it is the start of the junior or sophomore year. And then at the end of the year, when the student graduates, I will send out the final transcript to NCAA to make sure that they are cleared. Each student must have a 2.5 GPA to be eligible for the NCAA. Some other options, again, you got military, tech schools, trade schools. Again, as I said in the beginning of this presentation, not college is not for everyone. So a variety of skilled jobs such as, again, automotive, medical assistants, hairstylists, interior decorating, electronics, paralegals, cooks, truck drivers, whatever it may be. That could be a trade that a student can get into. You can look at alternatives like community colleges. I know PCCC does an awesome job with an auto program here with us for dual enrollment. They also do a great job of any kind of trade schools or tech schools for a cheaper price than the big name schools. Again, the tuition may be less at a private school. And also some businesses offer education, such as apprenticeships and on-site job training. So Naviance, all students should have registered for a Naviance or are registered for a Naviance account, and they have an account. If they do not know their account, please have them and have yourself as a parent reach out to the counselor and say, can you please send me a login or send me a password reset for Naviance? Returning users can sign in using a username, which is the email. So this is where the student will use their Wayne School's email and a password they created. If the student forgot their password, please, again, have them stop down at guidance, or please have them email the counselors that reset the password. Parents are also giving access. So again, ask your counselor to sign up for Naviance so you can see it. Each parent will have their own access. It will give them a access portal to what their student is doing, and you can have some edit access to that too. Students can reset their information, again, update their email address at any time if they just ask their counselor. Make sure the email is current with the My Profile section, as that's how we communicate via email. So this is the college planning. It's through Naviance. So some things you get through this is resume building, college search features, compare colleges, you can track deadlines, college reps for Wayne Valley, electronic college tracking, produce scattergrams and graphs, resources, again, such as financial aid, NCAA, ACT scores, scholarship search, and then email communications, all, again, are through Naviance. Letters of recommendation. So at the end of junior year, what we always ask is for the students to start asking teachers for letters of recommendation. Why we do this is because staff does get a little swamped with letters of recommendation, where over the summer they may have 80, they may have 90, they could have 100 letters of recommendation they could write, but giving them the respect to do it now before the end of junior year, they can start it now so they're not swamped when it comes to the senior year for your student. You'll be asked to fill out a student college questionnaire, which is no longer in Naviance. It's actually going to be something that we're going to send out through the guidance department. Your students should fill that out so that we have a better idea, and the teachers have a better idea what they do outside of school. Again, we know who your student is in school. We know what athletics they do, how they do educationally, and again, maybe some of their personal life, but we don't know what they do outside of school as a job, community service hours, again, part-time jobs if they have that. But what have they done outside of school? We do not have access to, we do not know. So at least this student can brag about themselves on that tab, and we can kind of fluff up that letter recommendation if need be. Your counselor and teachers will use this as a recommendation tool. Again, they might ask for a resume as well. If that's the case, have your student reach out to the counselor so they can help them sit down and show them how to use the resume. 2 letters of recommendation are encouraged. At least one needs to be from a teacher. So you'll get one from the counselor automatically. Another needs to be from a teacher. We always err on the side of precaution and say to each student, ask for 2 letters of recommendation, just in case one teacher cannot do it. All right, so we're now going to see how the Naviance platform works. So before we get to Naviance, this is our Wayne Valley homepage for the counseling tab. All right. If you scroll down, you will see the counselor contacts in case you do not know, the hours, our secretaries, our social media pages. So again, the YouTube pages where you can click on to see this presentation after it's recorded. And then some resources are on the bottom here. So again, you can look at dual enrollment, standardized testing, the student programs we offer, NCAA information, trade and career planning, course requests. All right. One of the links I'll click on here is a trade and career planning. This will send you to a page about local opportunities, learning more about yourself, some YouTube pages, and again, just a lot of information for your student about how they can go a different route if it's trade or career planning. Now we'll go to the Naviance that we've been talking about so much here. So let me see if I can get this back in here. There we go. Okay. So this is what Naviance looks like. When you get to the page and your student logs into the page, make sure that they are signing up through the student portal. So if it's Naviance, oh, login student, okay, make sure it is the student login that they're going through. You'll type in Wayne Valley High School.
We still see the trade and career planning page, not the Naviance page.
You just see the training, you don't see this? Okay. All right, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can pull it back up here. My apologies. Thank you for the heads up. Can you see the Naviance page now?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So again, how to get to this page? What you will do is you can search in Google, Naviance student login. You'll go to the Naviance student login portal. Make sure that you're typing in Wayne Valley High School. You'll see the link for Wayne Valley High School. Make sure you're clicking student. All right. Sometimes people click on alumni, parent guardian, but make sure the students click on student. Okay. This is where they'll type in their email and their password to get to this page. So on this page is how you'll do your research for all the colleges. This is one of our demo ones. Her name is Liz Lemon. She is a junior. So you have a homepage, self-discovery, careers, colleges, planner, about me, the heart, email, everything on top. The main page that we're going to focus on today for this is the colleges tab. So on the colleges tab, you're going to click on the colleges I'm thinking about. On this page, you'll click on the top, say, we'll look up Marist High School or Marist College. So you type in Marist, you go to Marist University in the hyperlink, and it'll send you to a page that looks like this. On this page, you'll see the overview of the actual college. So the average price, graduation rate, acceptance rate, next deadline. You can also go down and see some quick facts. Again, size of school, student faculty ratio, degrees they offer, a little snippet about what the school is. But again, this is all located on that overview page. Studies, again, breaks it down a little bit more. Job placement, student retention, degrees offered. And again, you can scroll down here and see some of the stuff that they offer: bachelor's, master's, graduate certifications, and certifications. Student life, it'll give you the size of the school, the nearest city, the distance from Wayne Valley High School, and how many kids live on campus. So again, all great information, as you can see on here through Naviance, is put on here by the schools. The admissions tab is one of the most important tabs. Again, each school has an application fee. So see what the fee costs. It'll show you the next deadline for fall term rolling admission deadline. It's May 1st for Marist University. You scroll down more, there's a bar graph. So the bar graph is for the students that have applied from the last 10 years, how many have been accepted, and how many have been enrolled. Scroll down even more, which is one of my favorite tools, is the scattergram. On the scattergram, you can see there's X's, there's O's, there's check marks. All this stuff is, again, information from the last 10 to 12 years at Valley. Students that have applied to Marist High School that have been accepted, or Marist University that have been accepted, waitlisted, or denied. So again, each year is different. A student was accepted with a 1020 GPA and a 2.6 GPA and a 1020 SAT. But then again, there's another one that was denied at a 1380 with a 3.9. Every year, there's a different application pool. Every year, there's different numbers that come out of this for each student and for each application. But this is a great tool to see where you are for each target, each reach, or again, any school that's in the realm for the student. If you look closely on there, there's a little plus bar, okay, which shows the GPA, the average GPA. and also the average SAT they look for. You can scroll in on it, scroll out, zoom in, zoom out on it. But there is a little plus bar to show you what they look for. What they require, what's recommended, and what's optional is also on here. They also go down and show what is required for each subject. So again, math is not needed for senior year for all students. It is highly, highly recommended that they take a fourth year math. From what you see here from Marist, 3 years is required, but they recommend 4. For a science, the years required is 3, but they recommend 4. So have your students and have yourself sit down and look at these and see what's required and see what's recommended for each one of the schools. Again, biggest thing is math is not required for senior year for our students, but it's something that's recommended for a lot of schools. And again, you can go see more in depth about costs, receiving grant, all that stuff. If Marist is one of your students' schools that they're interested in, you'll hit this heart, okay? It will turn red. It will then send you to this page again that says college I'm thinking about, and then this is how you build your list. All right. We recommend that students get at least like 5 to 10 schools on this list for the start of their senior year over the summer for their searches. They can also start searching now and start adding to their list now. College visits. So, colleges tab, college visits. We'll send you the page right here that's blank, unfortunately, right now. On this tab, next year, you'll start to see schools that are coming to visit. So again, you'll see Marist High School or Marist University. You'll see William Patterson University, Penn State University, Pitt University, Florida, whoever it is, you'll see them coming in, what date it is, and how to have your student register. Have your students come down to the counselors, to visit the counselors at the start of their senior year for the college visits to have it updated and see which ones they want to apply to. But again, this is how they register for it. They will get it passed through Miss Crank down here in guidance to be excused from class. Again, you can go to the colleges tab. You go to the letters of recommendation, and this is how you request for letters of recommendation. So right now, since they are juniors, right now, since we're on a demo, we do not see the letters of recommendation. But once they get to this page, they'll see a little green box that pops up here. It'll say request recommendation. They'll click on the request recommendation. They'll drop it down from a teacher list. They'll hit general application. And then from there, it'll be sent to the teacher via email to submit the application letter. So again, letters of recommendation is done through Naviance as well. So now we got kicked out. So we'll go back right into it. Let me sign back in real quick. I don't like Naviance sometimes likes to kick us out. All right. So again, colleges tab, as you can see, these is one of the most important tabs for when you're doing your college searches. You'll hit the college tab again. When you student does come to senior year, and we do have a senior meeting, you're gonna hit the colleges I'm applying to tab, and you'll see something on the top that says match accounts. All right. So once they complete the Common App, they'll come back to the counselor, and then they'll match their accounts through Naviance. This is how we send out all information to those schools. So colleges I'm applying to, and match accounts once they complete their Common App. What this gives us access to is matching that account to send the information out to the schools they apply to through Common App. And finally, one of the last two things, scholarship search. So again, there's colleges, scholarship search, and you can start looking at scholarships through Naviance on here. Again, great tools that you can look at through here. And finally, the last one I'd like to show you guys is called the Supermatch College Search. And on the Supermatch College Search, it'll give you a breakdown of questions to ask the student. So start criteria to search. Again, you can look at any region. So let's say we're looking in Delaware region, right? You can do a quick search. You want a suburb near a large city. All right, you hit the next button. Well, obviously Delaware was a bad choice. But what it'll do is you'll start to have must-haves in here And then it'll start populating down here in the bottom. So again, Delaware Art of College, from what the two things we put in, is 100% match from what you see on the top of must-haves for the criteria. Again, you can always manipulate and you can always play around with this by changing where you want to be. Again, if it's something that you want to be on the Northeast, right, in a large city, this might give us a little bit more information about colleges you want to put into. So another great tool that students can use for searching in college.
Sorry, really quick, can you just repeat? Do you create your own parent account that's like associated with your child's account, or are we logging in through our child's account for all this?
So you can have it two ways. So either you log into your child's account and you can just look over their shoulder and do it with them, or we actually get an email from you guys, from the parents that we pull from OnCourse, and we'll send you an actual login registration from there.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, then at that point, we're done with the Naviance. Is there any questions? I think we'll raise hands, and I think that's how we do it. What's up?
So actually, you're saying that our students should already have this Naviance account set up?
It's set up at the start of freshman year. We tell the students that it started the freshman year, but again, they're 13-year-olds coming into college or coming into high school. So they always have it. It just goes by if they remember the password they created. If they did create a password, if they did not, again, we can always register them right away, but they always have an account coming in as a freshman year.
Okay, so obviously she should check with her counselor if, I'm getting the dazed and confused look when I mention the Naviance account.
Yes.
Also, you said after October 1st for the Common App account?
August 1st.
August, I apologize. So how do they tie together? The Naviance, does that happen automatically, or is there something we have to do? Common App and Naviance?
I'm actually